Okay, so this is the anchor chart that is hanging up in my room, and this details all of the different reliable sources that you might find when you go to do your web search. Something that ends in .edu means that it comes from an educational institution, so typically it's pretty reliable, especially if it's not written by a student. .gov is a government organization, so those really tend to be very reliable. And .org means an organization. Now, an organization can have a bias, like from the previous video, PewSharks.org. That group clearly has a bias in favor of sharks, so you just have to be aware of that when you're taking your notes. The next type of source that's reliable is a news organization, especially a national news organization goes through a very rigorous fact-checking process. So you can really, really rely on those sources. You do want to check the publication date to make sure it's a recent article, and if it is and it comes from something like the New York Times, then you're probably in really good shape. A science organization really works out well for our particular project. National Geographic, Discovery Magazine, the Smithsonian, these organizations also go through that rigorous fact-checking process, so you'd be in really good shape if you find something current from one of those three sites. A scholarly journal article, those are a little difficult for sixth graders to read, but I wanted to put it on here just so you know that if you do find something that comes from a scholarly journal, it's definitely reliable. Books, we can definitely use books. However, since we are working with science issues and science is always being updated and changed, you want to make sure that your book has a recent copyright date. So if your book is from 1995 about global warming, clearly that's not the most up-to-date information. Even from 2000 is probably not current enough. So you want to make sure it's a book published within the last couple of years. Primary source, you know about those. The research that you'll be doing with Miss Barnett, you will be creating your own primary sources. So that would be really cool for you to use in your research paper. You're not going to really find that on a Google search, I don't think, but you might. And if you find a website that ends in a .com or a .net and it cites reliable sources, you can probably trust it, but you might want to click on those reliable sources that it cites instead, and that will ensure that your search truly is reliable. So now I'm going to show you how I am going to do my Google search. So I want to find out more information about shark fin soup. When you are doing a Google search, you want to only type in the key words. So I'm not going to ask what is shark fin soup or tell me more information about shark fin soup. I'm just going to type in shark fin soup and press enter. And you can see that I get a whole list of options. And I'm going to have to choose one that I want to work with today. So the first one is from Wikipedia. Wikipedia you can click on, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see a whole bunch of references. That could be a good way to find a source. But I immediately see some potential good ones, so I'm just going to stick with the results of my Google search. Okay, Huffington Post is something that I have listed on my anchor chart as a good, reliable source. So I'm going to right-click and open that in a new tab, and you can see right here it's opening up. I'm going to just take a look at all of these sources after I read through and find the ones that I think are reliable. Okay, here's something that from the New York Daily News, which I know is a news source, probably pretty reliable. It says New York legislature seeks ban on sale of shark fins. And I see that it's from March 2013, so it's pretty recent, at least to right now when I'm making this video. So I might want to open that one in a new tab as well. I right-clicked, and I just said open in a new tab. Okay. I see a sharktruth.com. That could be an organization, but it doesn't end in .org. Gothamist, I know, is an online news source, but since I have two other pretty reliable news sources, I think I'm probably okay. Globalpost.com, I haven't really heard of. So I think I did find two good sources right here. So let me take a look at shark fin soup from the Huffington Post. Oh, and look at this. It looks like it's a whole bunch of articles all about shark fin soup. And it looks like they are coming from different sources too, which means that the Huffington Post really did the hard work for me here. So I think this is the source that I am going to add to my shared document on Google Drive with my group, because this seems to have a ton of great sources, a lot of great information. I also might want to add this one because it seems to be recent news about shark finning, and immediately I can highlight this fact that I did not know. So this, I think I'm going to choose both of these articles to add to my shared document on Google Drive. Good luck!